We often refer to it as looking around the corner. So, seeing the unexpected or looking into the imaginary crystal ball to try to determine the scenarios and how do we best prepare ourselves for each scenario. At Finastra, we talk about the Black Swan events that have happened. They're very unique, but there have been many of them recently. If you think about COVID and the Ukraine war and now Israel and Hamas, I think there are many things that are affecting the macroeconomic environment that none of us would have expected over this time frame. And so much to do with the CFO role is looking around the corner and ensuring that our business is agile enough to be able to adapt and adjust accordingly. And so you need to have those risk assessments and ensure that we have an ability to have business continuity amongst this environment that we're living in today. And I think that's very much my role as well as very several folks within the leadership team. So, how do we do that? How do we ensure we can get financial stability amongst all of these black swan events?
Why do you, as the CFO, find that it impacts you so much?
Everything that affects the P&L and L and the balance sheet, in my mind, affects the CFO, and the CFO needs to be considering that. And so there isn't a one owner when it comes to risk. We say in Finastra, everyone is in risk. And so we all need to be thinking about this and need to be working towards ensuring the viability of our company.
Jonathan, what are your thoughts on this? I mean, do you see yourself as a risk watcher?
Yeah, and the sort of traditional term, I guess, for a lot of this is risk management. It's about trying to understand what the risks are and making sure that you're prepared for them, and you can do that in a kind of quantitative way as much as possible. And that's one of the advantages of sort of technological progress and so on, that we do have more ability to analyze data. But it's that agility that Carissa said as well, that ability to react, and also building in as much as you can into the business a kind of structural resilience, so that whatever happens, you know how you're going to flex. You've done some scenario planning, you've looked at contingencies, trying to estimate what might be coming around the corner. And I think that is absolutely core to the finance function. The finance function, at the end of the day, is kind of a score sheet for everything else you're doing. So there's a lot of non-financial metrics that you will be taking into account. And when you're looking at this kind of anticipation of what might be around the corner, how you quantify it and the potential impact and what that means in terms of headcount, skills, locations, whatever else. Ultimately, it can probably come down to some kind of metric that you can measure and plot.
I think the reason why the CFO tends to be the point, so to speak, on risk management and mitigation is because, we're the storyteller. We see the business and we tell the story of what's happening, and it's manifests itself through the numbers, through the forecast, etc. But we are the ultimate storyteller in any business, and therefore I think that's why it sits with us in terms of managing risk and the bad news and and the reaction to that and how we're going to mitigate that.